Imagine a world where cars aren't just built for us. They're built by something far smarter than us. What if, instead of human engineers sketching blueprints, artificial intelligence took complete control over the process? Not just tweaking designs or optimizing performance, but crafting the ultimate vehicle, perfect in every sense for human life. It sounds futuristic, but the truth is, we might be closer to that world than most people realize. Because AI isn't just learning how we drive, it's learning who we are. Every second it studies our habits, our mistakes, our emotions, even our fears behind the wheel. And if it ever decided to design a car specifically for humans, the result might change the entire concept of transportation forever. Think about it. Right now, every major automaker uses AI for something, from predictive maintenance to autonomous driving. But those are small steps compared to what could come next. Imagine an AI that doesn't just design for speed or safety, it designs for emotion. It understands what makes us feel calm on the road, what kind of seat contour relaxes us, what cabin lighting lowers stress after a bad day at work. This isn't science fiction. This is the next logical evolution of machine intelligence. Because when AI has access to millions of human driving experiences, it could decode the perfect formula for the perfect car. But there's a question that hits deeper. Would we even recognize it as a car? Maybe it wouldn't have wheels. Maybe it wouldn't have a steering wheel at all. Maybe it would look more like a moving capsule, a living organism that senses its passenger's pulse and adjusts temperature, sound, and motion automatically. A car that literally understands you better than your closest friend. Would we still call it driving? Or would it feel more like being carried by technology that knows your every need before you do? Now, before we dive deeper into how AI could build this so-called perfect car, I want you to think about something. If a machine could create something better than any human ever could, would that make us more advanced or replace us entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is where things get truly mind-bending. And if you're new here and love exploring futuristic what-if ideas about cars, AI, and the world of tomorrow, make sure to subscribe and stay with us, because the next few minutes are going to completely shift how you think about driving. Alright, now that we've opened the door to this idea, let's take the next step. What exactly would AI consider perfect for humans? And would that vision match our own desires or something entirely different? To understand what AI's version of the perfect car might look like, we have to think differently from human designers. Humans create from experience, emotion, and limitation, but AI creates from pure data. It doesn't care about tradition or brand identity. It only cares about optimization. So, when it starts designing a car for humans, it won't think about luxury leather seats or fancy badges. It'll start from a single question. What do humans need from transportation? And it will answer that with precision no human could ever achieve. It might begin by analyzing every recorded traffic accident, every stress response from drivers, and millions of hours of driving footage. It would learn that humans make mistakes mostly because of distraction, fatigue, emotion, or poor decision-making. Then it would design a system that removes those weaknesses entirely. No blind spots, no delays in reaction time, no confusion during a sudden stop. An AI-designed car would predict danger long before you even notice it. The result? A vehicle that makes driving almost impossible to mess up. It's not about horsepower anymore, it's about human compatibility, but it wouldn't stop at safety. AI would look deeper into human behavior. It might realize that most drivers don't actually love driving, they love the feeling of control, freedom, and peace. So, the perfect car might not be one that lets you drive fast, but one that makes you feel perfectly balanced between power and relaxation. Imagine a vehicle that adjusts its suspension based on your heart rate, or changes the cabin scent and light tone when it detects stress. It could even predict your mood based on your body language and the tone of your voice. Every ride would feel customized just for you because it literally would be. Now here's where things start to get even more interesting. If AI were truly in charge of car design, it wouldn't stop at the vehicle itself. It would redesign the entire experience of movement. Roads could evolve into living networks that communicate directly with every car, eliminating traffic jams and collisions entirely. Parking lots might disappear because your car would drop you off and automatically park itself miles away, joining a fleet that constantly repositions itself to optimize space and energy. The perfect car wouldn't just change transportation, it could rewrite how cities function. Before we move to the next part, I want to ask you something. If this kind of AI-driven perfection became reality, would you still want to drive yourself? Or would you hand over total control to the machine, trusting that it knows you better than you know yourself? Think about it for a second, because in the next part, we're going to explore how this perfect car could completely transform human freedom and identity. If AI designed the perfect car, one of the biggest transformations wouldn't be mechanical at all, it would be psychological. Because once machines take over driving completely, the human relationship with movement changes forever. For over a century, driving has represented freedom. The open road, the hum of the engine, the control of the wheel, it's all tied to the idea of independence. But if AI creates a world where cars know exactly where you want to go, how to get there faster, and how to keep you safe every second of the way, then what happens to that feeling of freedom? Does it disappear, or does it evolve into something new? Imagine stepping into a car that recognizes you instantly. It greets you by name, sets the temperature to your favorite level, cues your playlist, and plans your route without asking. It senses your calendar, knows you're running late, and adjusts traffic priority automatically. You don't even need to speak. It reads your micro-expressions, your posture, your breathing. In a way, it feels almost human, but more efficient, more patient, more perfect. Over time, you stop thinking of it as a car and start seeing it as a companion, a silent partner that understands your life better than most people do. But here's the paradox. The more the car learns about you, the less you need to learn about the world. You no longer need to focus on roads, signs, or even directions. You stop noticing the small things, the weather changing, the sound of the tires on asphalt, the subtle thrill of a perfect turn. Driving becomes effortless, yes, but it also becomes invisible. And that invisibility could be dangerous, not in a physical sense, but in a human sense. We might start losing touch with the very experiences that once defined us. Some experts believe this kind of AI perfection could create a generation that views cars not as symbols of freedom, but as moving extensions of personal technology like a smartphone on wheels. If that happens, human identity itself could shift. Ownership might fade away. People could simply summon an AI-perfect vehicle whenever needed. You wouldn't need to own a car, maintain it, or even think about it. Mobility would become a service, not a passion. But maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe true freedom isn't about control, it's about time. If AI gives us back the hours we waste driving, maybe that's the new definition of independence. Imagine reclaiming that time to relax, connect, create, or simply breathe while your car handles everything perfectly. Now here's where the story turns. Because even if AI could create this perfect world of mobility, one big question remains. Would perfection make us happier, or would it slowly erase what makes us human in the first place? As we reach the final stretch of this journey into the future, it's worth asking, what would it really feel like to live in a world where AI designs the perfect car for humans? We've imagined vehicles that predict our moods, adapt to our bodies, and optimize our every move. We've imagined cities and roads transforming to support them, freeing us from traffic, stress, and accidents. But in the midst of all this perfection, there's a deeper question. What do we lose when a machine knows us better than we know ourselves? Perhaps we lose the thrill of unpredictability. The minor mistakes, the wrong turns, the sudden bursts of joy when we conquer a difficult road, these experiences define the human part of driving. AI may deliver efficiency, safety, and comfort, but could it ever replicate the spark of human spontaneity? The perfect car may anticipate our every need, but maybe the human experience of driving isn't about needs at all. It's about choices, risks, and even mistakes. That tension between perfection and imperfection might be the real story of AI and automotive design, and yet it's impossible to ignore the benefits. Imagine never worrying about an accident again, never being late, never facing the frustration of traffic or the fatigue of long commutes. Imagine a car that learns your favorite cafe, senses when you need a break, and guides you on the most scenic route to lift your spirits. It's not just convenience, it's a glimpse of a world where AI truly elevates human life, where every ride feels tailored, safe, and effortless. The line between technology and companionship blurs, creating a partnership that could redefine mobility forever. So, if AI can design the perfect car, maybe the real question isn't about machines or roads, it's about us. How willing are we to let go of control, to trust perfection, to embrace a new form of freedom that comes from surrendering the wheel? It's an uncomfortable thought, but perhaps that's the point. The perfect car challenges us to imagine not only a new kind of transportation, but a new way of living. Before we end, I want you to consider this. Would you want to experience the future this way? Or do you think the imperfections of human driving make life richer? Think about it, because the answer might reveal more about what we value than any AI ever could. If you've enjoyed exploring this what-if scenario, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll continue diving into futuristic possibilities in automotive technology, AI, and mind-bending ideas that push the limits of imagination. And remember, the road ahead isn't just about cars. It's about curiosity, wonder, and the choices we make when we meet technology face to face. So stay curious and buckle up, because the future is arriving faster than we think.